Pan sausages suck. Everybody knows that barbecue sausages taste way better. Barbecue weather is now here, so why not test out a great Australian product? To give this product a great review, we'll start by unboxing, followed by the first run of sausages to get used to the product, then followed by a whole heap of different barbecuable goods, and hopefully at the end of the review, we'll be able to test out my favourite barbecuable good. Fingers crossed it works on the rollers. So on the box here it says high quality stainless steel frame and rollers, safe, easy to use and clean, total cooking area 445mm by 295mm, compatible with 2 to 6 burner gas barbecues. Battery operated, high efficiency, and there is no need for power cables. Alright, so let's open her up. Where the frick do I open it from? There's a top part here, and there's a handle on top too. There you go. Alright, having a quick look now. Everything's in plastic with styrofoam on the edges, and I tell you what, the chrome looks pretty good. That's all that's in the box. It didn't really come with anything else. Everything is in this bag. Okay, rollers not really held in tightly with your Ziploc. Okay. Okay, your motor comes in a box, and the motor is actually wrapped in plastic, just a thin plastic obviously. I'm expecting it not to have any batteries in it. Yep. I've raided the box with some double A's. Tell you what, it's a bit stiff getting in the end one. Middle one went in pretty well. And here's another end one. Whoop. Oh, she's moving. Alright. You'd probably just be able to hear that. Not too bad, not too bad. Now, okay, so it's got the lugs both sides, so you can't really stuff that up. Obviously put it in motor side first, and then put it down. See, that's pretty simple to put together. It's that's really good. You don't want to be stuffing around, you know. And honestly, you don't need the instructions, but they do come in handy. In your little bag there, you got some handles, and you got 2 little rods. I was trying to figure out in my head what the hell these 2 little, like pieces of metal. I don't know how you'd describe that. Goes in there. Okay, so it's obvious you go in that way. and then you twist it on. Just like so. Okay. I'll tell you what, that was the simplest I've ever seen. Okay, we'll turn it on. Oh, it's so slow. That's what you want. Making a bit more of a sound now that she's got a bit of weight behind her. But I'm happy with this. From BBQ Creations, they're down in Melbourne. It's going to be interesting to see, right, if let's say you got your sausage on there, and then you go to spray oil on it, if the sausage keeps turning. That'd be interesting. It's time for the first run. The unit fits perfectly on the barbecue with the motor hanging over the edge of the grill. I'm really happy that the motor is not in the area of the heat. How hard is it to make sausages spin on the rollers for the first time? I can tell you, it is pretty hard. So let's just sit back and figure out what the hell we're doing. We need a tube of fatty meat to roll on its long edge on a slippery surface. So don't oil, not even butter. When you first start, you are putting a wet casing of collagen, or in some cases, natural casing like intestines or skin, on a chrome rotating surface. My first run, I used oil on the rollers, and then I found out the reason why you don't do that. Because the sausages will not grip. So for your first attempt, put the sausages on there. Eventually the heat will dry out the sausage and it will eventually rotate. As for the corn, make sure your corn is straight. Banana shaped corn will not spin. Try rolling your corn on the cutting board first. If it wobbles, cut it in half until it does not wobble anymore. Do not oil or butter the corn. Also make sure that unit is nice and straight on the barbecue. My first attempt, I did actually have a roller jump up on top of the frame. This was obviously because I didn't have the unit square. Alright, this is now the second run for the BBQ Creations kebab and sausage turner. My second run is going to be kebabs. In the instructions, they mention the width between the rods. So this is going to mean a thinner, smaller kebab on the stick. I've talked about flexing the unit when using the kebab rods, but the rods have some flex as well. Before you load up the rods, make sure the rods are flat and straight. Doing this maximizes the kebab width. Personally, I think the kebab rods could be a little bit sharper on the end. I found myself mashing food onto the end of the kebab and it didn't go onto the stick. When it comes to making the kebabs, I give it 3 out of 10. I think that a lot of effort is needed to actually make the kebabs. I have thought about an easier way of making them, but we'll have a look at that later on. It could possibly even raise my score. Now this product looks great. It's definitely not a Wish or a Temu product. You can tell the quality straight off just by looking at the chrome parts. And it's also really rigid where it needs to be. All the running gear is in the front end of the machine, near the motor. It is not cogged on the rollers. Therefore, you can take the center rollers out or every second roller out, and every roller will still spin. The motor can be taken off the unit with just a twist. No tools needed. The unit itself, without the motor, actually fits into the barbecue with the lid closed, which is a massive bonus for me. There is a bit between the motor and the gears. There is a replacement part within the box, but if you lose both of them, you probably could get away with just cutting down an aluminium Allen key, something like that. If I had a lot of people over and I wanted to do kebabs, number one, it'd take forever to make kebabs. Number two, if I wanted them all cooked at the same time, it's highly likely it's not going to happen because of the width of the kebab and the gap in between the rods. Realistically, I could just get there, have it all prepped early, put the kebabs in and miss one every single rod. Put one in, miss one, put one in. Just means that you're going to have to do double cooks. One thing I don't like about the rods is that they are sharp, really sharp along the long side of the rod. I find that if the kebabs are going to be appetizer kebabs, that is to be eaten off the skewer, there's a good possibility you're going to cut your mouth open. However, if the kebabs are a meal, then you can just take them off the rods and put them onto something simple like a plate of rice or something similar to that. As I was saying before, there is extra body flex when using the kebab rods. I do find that if that unit is not square, they are going to jump no matter what. If you keep that unit nice and square, it won't jump. I'm now up to my 20th cook using the BBQ Creations kebab and sausage turn. The novelty is not worn off yet. The unit is still in great condition, no scratches or dents. Believe it or not, I'm still on the same batteries as when I started. However, you can hear the motor struggle sometimes when I've got every roller loaded. I've tried multiple different items on the BBQ Creations kebab and sausage turner. Things like cucumber, corn, carrot, turnip from the veggie range. I've tried thick sausages, thin sausages, frankfurts, chicken skewers with the wooden skewer still in on the rollers. And also, just to take the piss, I also tried some spring rolls. I've always just used a super low heat when using the BBQ Creations kebab and sausage turner. This in turn has increased my mileage of the 9 kilo gas bottle by 40%. I usually get a lot less cooks from the flat plate. After a while you will find out what brand sausages work the best. You can tell which companies go cheap in production when you use the BBQ Creations kebab and sausage turner. One advantage I love about this thing, the battery life is just amazing. Eventually I will have to replace them batteries. The sausages that come off this are dead straight. Unlike a flat plate sausage where you've got to butterfly your sausage because they end up curling over and you can't cook them even. One advantage about these rollers is that sausages don't fry in their own fat, unlike the flat plate. A big bonus is that the fat drips away from the sausages. Only be careful, make sure that you've got a burner cover on because the fat can cause fat fires. A great advantage about this unit is that it evenly cooks the sausages. Here is a picture and you can see where one of them has been on the rollers and the other one has been on the flat plate. And a massive bonus is using less gas. As I said, out of the 9 kilo bottle, I've used 40% less gas. A disadvantage is extra cleaning, unlike the flat plate. This unit, if you quickly wipe it down after you finish the cook, it will help you with the cleaning up. The disadvantage is you will eventually have to buy batteries. It's not a massive hassle, but still better than turning sausages by hand. An uneven barbecue will allow the sausage to rotate down the length of the rollers, Poor quality sausages allowing the contents of the sausage to spin out of the casing along the rollers. Thing I hate most about it is the fat fires blackening the rollers. But realistically, there isn't a great deal of issues. On the first run, I cleaned up with hot water, dishwashing liquid, and a light scour in some areas. I was expecting the tube to fill up with water and get scratched, but all was good. I did another three more cooks on it and really got some build up onto it for another cleaning test. The outcome was just fine. Basic hot water in the sink with one of them cheapo handheld Dishmatic liquid dispensing handles. Everything went well. Cleaning up after the kebab night was a little more intense because I was sprinkling a Mediterranean dry spice over the kebabs while cooking them. Some of the spice landed on the unit edges and needed to be soaked a little longer in hot water. I think a 3-inch long die cutter for meat and veg would shorten the prep time. So if you went around cutting all the prepped food with the die cutter and collecting it within the die cutter, then stab through the die cutter with the rod, you should then be able to eliminate time and also have a nice size for the rods. One thing that I think would be even better would be to mirror the kebab rod ends, the motor end preferably, just so that you can stop that motor, take the kebab rods out, and spin them around, just in case them kebabs aren't cooking evenly. Does this make sausages better than the old traditional flat plate way? And of course they do. This is so much better. It's evenly cooked. It's a straighter sausage. And straighter sausages are easier to cut for that perfect sausage sambo. Does this make corn cob better than on the flat plate? Well, I think it's a 50-50 on this one. Honestly, I like the butter on my corn as it's cooking. Unfortunately, butter on the rollers, that's a no-go, the same as oil. But the good advantage is that it's less hands-on, so I don't know. That's much of a muchness. It's a 50-50. Is it worth the money? When I ordered this unit quite a few months ago, it cost me 250 Australian dollars delivered to the central western New South Wales from Melbourne. I'm happy with how everything is going so far. I've had no major issues, and I love how it was packaged. I love the fact that I can also put the unit back into the packaging, and it keeps it safe for the next time as well. What I really purchased this unit for is coming up next. And I'll tell you what, I'll be over the moon if it works. I've got a funny feeling it won't, but I'm going to be really happy if it does. All of my reviews, I always say, if it was stolen, would I go out and buy another one? And honestly, I would. I'd go out and buy another one of these in a heartbeat. But while I'm on their website, I'd also check out the other stuff that they've got, because I've realised now that they've updated the motor on what I have, which is the motor I have right now, and then that actually fits on a lot more of their other products as well. So that'll be something to look into. This is the last test I'm doing on the unit. This is what I've actually originally purchased it for. I'm not going to lie, I'm not a massive sausage fan. I would much rather have a slow cooked porterhouse, a thick juicy T-bone, or a saltwater injected pork steak. But sometimes, times are tough. The price of everything I just mentioned is through the roof, and now electronically tagged like a celebrity that's gone off the rails.
But hey, what can we do? We can still eat well. Something I really want to test is a skinless sausage called Kebab. My local Woolworths used to carry this sausage and I miss it dearly. Kebab, or plural Kebabi, is a southeastern European skinless sausage served on flatbread, and it is amazing. The flavours, the garlic, oh man, everything is, and the chili sauces, just wow. Before I make them by hand, I want to make sure that they work on the sausage turner first. Coles still sells Chavapi in pre-made packs, so I'll go and head down there first. I have my fingers crossed that they don't turn out like the kebab sticks I tried earlier. Honestly, I was expecting a major fail, but the sausages just started turning as soon as they hit the rollers. There was no skidding on the rollers, just perfectly turning logs of meaty goodness. Traditionally, it's served as logs on flatbread, but I like to cut it up thinner so that you're not opening your mouth super wide like a cartoon character. To me, this is like a homemade doner kebab without the majority of the rabbit food and so much more flavour. You have no idea how happy I am that Chavapi has worked on these rollers. I have the sausage maker and I've got the recipe as well. Now I have the perfect way to cook them as well. Yeah. You're going to complain in the comments that it's not the traditional way to cook them. But hey, the fat's dripping off them and they're not frying in fat. The product from BBQ Creation is fantastic. And honestly, I wish I thought of it myself. If you are looking to purchase this product, go to the BBQ Creations Kebab and Sausage Turner website at bbqcreations.com.au or the Facebook page www.facebook.com/BBQ Creations1. All links will be in the description. And speaking of descriptions, YouTube stuff, if you found it useful, this video useful, and it's helped you with your purchase, please like, comment, and subscribe. What's your favourite thing that you're going to be cooking on your unit? We'll see you in the next one.